From protecting against nation-state attacks to complying with the executive order on improving the nation's security, it's more crucial than ever that U.S. agencies work to shore up their cyber defenses. So what will it take to protect government systems from increasingly sophisticated cyber attacks? Cybersecurity leader Trellix dives into this in their recent report, Path to Cyber Readiness, Preparation, Perception, and Partnership. Check it out now on Route50.com to learn more about how your agency can stay one step ahead of today's threat landscape.
This is GovExec Daily, where we bring you the federal stories that really matter. It's July 25th, 2022. I'm Ross John Fortuné. Federal employees have to make a lot of important choices while working in order to have a successful and pleasant retirement. No matter where they work or how old they are, feds know that a lot of decisions need to be made before they retire. Some of these choices can have lifelong consequences and should be carefully evaluated. On GovExec Daily, we bring on experts to examine some of the ways that public servants can use this information to inform their decisions about the TSP and other financial issues that will shape their retirement. After a short break, you'll hear some of the information about retirement that we've heard over the last year on GovExec Daily.
GmarkU, a collaborative community-based platform for knowledge sharing and skills development. Bringing you together at cutting-edge, highly interactive events, including our premier conference, GAIN. Grow, accelerate, innovate, and network. Join the marketplace of knowledge. Learn, connect, insights at gmarku.com.
The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly changed the way that retirement is done in the federal government. For one, many feds have reevaluated their relationships with work and their retirement timeframes. But the bigger issue, of course, is the already lengthy processing times for requests at the Office of Personnel Management. These processing times have increased. Our guests were quick to note how important patience is right now. Tammy Flanagan writes the retirement planning column on govexec.com. She also serves as the Senior Benefits Director for the National Institute of Transition Planning, Inc., which conducts federal retirement planning workshops and seminars. She spoke to GovExec Daily late last year about the pandemic's effects on retirement strategy.
With everyone teleworking, things have slowed down a little bit. There have become more backlogs. There's more people leaving. So all of this means have cash on hand. If you can possibly have 6 months of expenses on hand, you won't worry as much. You'll feel a little bit more secure if things do take a month or two longer. Keep in mind that retirement is still a paper process. We're not doing these processing actions electronically. It's all manual. So someone sitting with a stack of papers in front of them, if you have things that are going to complicate your retirement, like a divorce decree that splits your retirement with an ex-spouse, or you might have maybe a lot of part-time work in your career that causes a little bit more of a manual calculation, you have to allow time for that in addition to the typical backlogs we're seeing right now.
Erin Carter, Director of Programs at the National Active and Retired Federal Employees Association, works with public servants and retired feds. She echoed the call for patience and to save money in anticipation of long wait times.
I think that folks who are approaching retirement need to have a realistic frame of mind and know that this is not going to be a short process. We are recommending that everybody has at least 6 months worth of finances saved, and that is at least 6 months. I'm working on a couple of cases now with NARF members who are going into the 8-month territory and their retirements have not yet been finalized.
Jason Howell is an adjunct faculty member at George Mason University and a certified financial planning professional. He outlined the connections between freedom, knowledge, and retirement on our show back in April.
There's a saying, awareness gives you choice, choice gives you freedom. If you ask most people, that's what they're looking for. And so many people take the opportunity early in life to reach after what folks call financial freedom, but it's really, life freedom.
Carter emphasized the complexity of the federal retirement process when she noted that public servants need to do their due diligence before submitting any paperwork.
The first thing I would recommend is that they take the time to really read all of the forms, including all of the instructions. Some of the questions have a circular in nature, where one question down at the bottom of the form might refer to a question at the top of the form. So being aware of what that question's really asking and then answering it. Understanding the elections, like things like the survivor benefits that have very lasting implications. Some of those decisions cannot be reversed. So knowing what you're really signing up for is key. And then to take advantage of the services offered by your agency. If they have retirement classes and things along those lines, definitely participate in those. Double and triple check every entry on the form to make sure that every question that should be answered is answered.
Knowledge is power, especially within the Thrift Savings Plan. Brian McGannon is the Director of Policy and Programs for USSIF, and he told the podcast that TSP participants need to have knowledge to plan for retirement.
Participants in the Thrift Plan need to understand what they're doing first and be real, aware and understand what they're the investments that they may be looking into. But I think this is a really, really important step, especially for sustainable options, that now retirement savers in the largest retirement plan in the world to be able to have some of these other choices. And I think, the more I think federal employees know about the mutual fund window, the more excited they'll get about it, the more they'll look into it and kind of just poke. And I think that it's good for them to take their time and kind of understand and be able to find options that are good for their retirement.
Carter emphasized the importance of getting the proper amount of match money in the TSP while still in one's career at the federal government.
I think another opportunity very often overlooked is the agency match to the TSP. My parents, who were both federal employees themselves, always preached to us that we have to maximize the employer match with our 401ks. And they said, if you start doing that when you're younger, you get used to it and you don't miss it. And it would be a shame to miss out on any of those matching contributions that could have an impact on your retirement, health and longevity of funds available.
Retirement is a big deal, and planning for retirement should not be taken lightly. Dallin Hawes is a financial planner and host of the Hawes Federal Advisors YouTube channel and podcast. He noted that even TSP investors need to have a goal in mind, like all of us, when they're planning for retirement.
It all comes down to, when do you need the money? And you have to have a long-term view. If you view investing in how do I have the most money possibly in the next 6 months, then you're just going to kill yourself over and over and over again. You have to say, okay, what's the goal? Is the goal to just be safe now in the G fund, or is the goal to have an incredible retirement, to have as much money and freedom later? Which one is it? You can't have both. You have to pick, and you have to prioritize your goals and your investing based on what you're trying to do. And for most people, they're trying to optimize their retirement. And yeah, we'd love to have as much now too, but sometimes you got to pick an investment strategy that's going to optimize for you what you really care about.
Thanks for listening to GovExec Daily. Our show was produced by Adam Butler and hosted by me, Ross John Fortuné. We want to thank Dallin Hawes, Jason Howell, Aaron Carter, and Tammy Flanagan for joining the program. Our music is the song Signals by Catfish Dancing. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can email us any feedback at podcast@govexec.com or hit us up on Twitter @govexec. We'd love to hear from you. We'll talk to you later.